Welcome to the Third Wind channel, where today we're doing a character tier list for the new Squid Game Netflix show, which I thought was really interesting, and therefore I wanted to talk about the characters. Today we have 5 tiers: favorites, stay alive please, good, meh, and eliminate please. And then last thing before I start the video, I'm going to be going by the player number rather than butchering all the Korean names, although I do think I could name most of the characters. But without further ado, let's get into the video. First off, we got player 456, of course, our main character, and he does really well as a main character. We get introduced to him, we get to see what his life is like outside of the games, and we kind of get a really good understanding of why he needs to go there. He needs the money. He's in such heavy debt. He needs to help his mom, his daughter, all these things, and it makes it really easy to root for him. But at the same time, I feel like you could acknowledge that he isn't the best person. But in terms of when we're seeing him in the games, he is a really good guy. And he's one of the people who, player 001, which we'll talk about later, he sees this goodness in him. And he kind of, it feels like maybe he doesn't help him along the way, but maybe a little bit. But what I want to say about player 456 is just that I think he's a great main character. It's going to be really interesting to see what they'll do with him in season 2. I don't know where they'll go with him from here, but I really enjoyed his character, and he has to go in favorites. Moving on, we got player 240, and what do I have to say about 240? I think she's good. I liked that really deep conversation with her and player 067. Which you see here in the picture here. At first we don't get to know much about her, but then when we hear her talking and her ideas and her kind of moral code about, you should get out because I don't have a reason to, and I don't know, she just seems like a really nice person, and she just wants to make some friends, and I don't have anything bad to say about her. I think she's interesting enough that if we had seen her longer, I think she would have added a lot to the show as well. But yeah, good. Moving on, we got the cop, who we never really get to know personally. We don't get much of a story about him. There is this feeling that maybe he didn't die when he falls off that cliff because, until we see the death, we can't know for sure. And what am I going to say about him? I think he's great for adding suspense, but I feel like he has to go in meh. He could have saved a lot of people's lives if he was just acted slightly differently. Maybe I could put him in good, but I'm gonna put him in meh. Although I do enjoy him being there, but as a character, he's okay. Next up, we got player 101, which obviously is painted as a bit of a bad guy, but when you look at it, like the bad things he did a lot of them to survive, and that's fair enough. And I think that he adds meaningful conflict. He's this kind of really macho guy, and obviously he doesn't treat people very well, and he's one of the first ones who turns to violence when he gets the chance to. But as a character, I have to put him down as good. I wouldn't put him in stay alive please. Like, I didn't feel too much when he died, but yeah, he deserves to be in good. I think he's a character that people like. They did well to make him like imprint into your mind, and like he was a character that you'd kind of pay attention to and you want to know what's going on with him. Next down, we got player 199, and he lives in the stay alive please category. It was so sad. I will use a name here, that when Sungwoo betrayed him, player 199, he believed in the team, he believed in the trust of his newfound friends. And the way Sungwoo did him wrong, I can't, man. That is one of the most brutal things I've seen on television. And, that just makes me love player 199 even more. And it's sad that when he was calling out Sungwoo, I'm back. And then he dies. I don't know. I love his character. I would put him in favorites. We just didn't see enough of him, I think. Moving on, we got player 067, who I have to put in my favorites. I really liked her partnership with player 456 and how they slowly kind of understood each other in a strange way. I don't know if anyone else felt the same way, but for some reason it felt like they had a lot in common without even them really knowing it. But I think she's just the biggest badass. I don't know. I've I haven't seen this kind of a female young badass in a long time, and damn, she was really cool. That's all I can really say about her, and for that reason, she's my favorite. I was honestly, if she won, I think that that might have been a good ending as well. To be honest, I think it would have been really cool too. Next up, we got Eliminate Please, this literally machine gun or sniper rifle girl. You know, it's good for the series and it creates that big shock value, but I don't like dolls and puppets, so she can go into Eliminate Please. And I think that the person who made this tier list put that in as a joke, but I'm gonna take it seriously. Next up, we got the front man, who is really mysterious for a long portion, but he kind of falls into the same group with the cop. I just don't find him super interesting as a character. Even towards the end, when we get to know his kind of identity, it just isn't very special. Like, yes, he's slightly more interesting, but meh. Next, we got the salesman, who I think is really a really good character, to be honest. I just the way they introduce these people to the game with this kind of you pay with your body, and you know, people desperate for money, and then you play this game, and I don't know, something about it is just really well done. I think that that's one thing that people will take away from the show, either start trends with it or whatever. But yeah, I think he's cool. Obviously, he's not really a character, you know, you could put him in meh as well. And you know what, because I've put these two in here, we don't really get a character for him, so I will put him in meh. But I do think he is important for the show's kind of memorability. Is that a word? Next up, we got player 212, who I mean, you could sympathize with her all you want, but she treats people like garbage. Maybe even more so than 101. She's always been super, what's the word called when you're just selfish and doesn't, I don't know. I just thought she was the most annoying character. You know, she had her purpose and she was important, but I just don't like her character. Next up, we got Sungwoo. I will call him by his name because I just think it's the coolest name, Sungwoo. But you know, obviously he's like the big villain type, but you can't say he's not a good character. And for the most part, I was like, yes, stay alive, please. He was definitely one of the, if not the smartest contestant in the show. Obviously, towards the end, he turned completely devilish and mean. Nah, mean is an understatement. He became a complete psycho, and he was doing everything he could to win, which is probably the right attitude in this game. But it does not make him likable. But that being said, he is a fantastic character, and for the most part, I was saying stay alive, please, and he's better than good. I think he has to go in favorites because this category doesn't feel quite right for him, so I'm gonna put him in my favorites. And lastly, we got player 001. Up until the very final episode, I'd put him in this tier, and I think I'm gonna keep him there because the ending I still have to think about, and obviously it's a bit confusing, but for, you know, treating him as a player in this game, I thought he was really charming, and I like the partnership with player 456, and I like how one of them had player 1 and one of them had player 456. That was fun. But yeah, I mean, you knew he was gonna die because he's like super old and he's already dying, so you think he'll die pretty much right away or something, but he lives for a long time, but you just know one of these games he'll go, and he does. But we get that twist at the end, which I have to think about still. But you know what? Stay alive, please. I think he fits in with player 199 in this category. And in terms of the characters, I'll talk briefly about the characters now. I think that the show does a really good job. We have 456 contestants, but the show does a good job of kind of showing you all the characters, but we're focused on these select few here, and that makes for really good storytelling. They could have made it much messier, but part of what makes the show so good is that we have these characters that we're rooting for, and we kind of step into their shoes and see what's going on, and I think that's great. Every character, I think, has I mean, outside of a few, has some kind of I don't know, you can be sympathetic towards everyone in some way. So I think that's really good, but I'm talking too much now. This is my list. I'm mostly more curious to see what you guys say. I'm expecting some surprises in the chat, so hit me up in the comments, and yeah, let me know what you thought of this show as well. But this has been the Third Win channel. Subscribe if you enjoy my content, and there will be more content coming soon. So with that, thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys soon.